In our project, we focused on a group of plants that we generally call cenopods, which includes some plants that people will be quite familiar with, such as spinach and sugar beet, but it also includes some plants that have only recently begun to become popular in the UK, such as quinoa. And we wanted to look at these plants, at whether there was potential to exploit the global diversity of these crops to bring them into the UK market or to expand the market for established crops such as quinoa, which started to be grown in the UK in the last couple of decades. And in our research, we found that there does seem to be significant opportunities to improve the cultivation and expand the cultivation of quinoa in the UK, that it's a highly nutritional, gluten-free crop that grows well in the UK when people are using well-established agronomic practices, and there's an increasing amount of seeds that's adapted for growth in the UK and Europe that grows well in the UK. But we did find there are some limitations for quinoa as well. So for example, we currently lack effective herbicides to use with quinoa as a crop, and we have a lack of processing facilities that can make the gluten-free products that quinoa can provide. We've widened our sort of scope to look at a broader range of cenopods that are widely consumed elsewhere in the world, but not in the UK. And that led us to identify another of other crops that are also exciting potential for UK growers. So for example, in Celosia, there's a very popular sort of leafy green crop called Celosia in West Africa that could be used as a spinach-like crop in the UK that could potentially grow well. In Mexico, there's a crop called Huizontle, and this crop provides sort of a tasty tender stem that's a really traditional and popular component of Mexican cuisine. And we also came up with some surprising candidates for future crops for the UK. So around the world, people eat a plant called Chenopodium album as a leafy green. It's particularly popular in India and Nepal and Bangladesh as a leafy green, but also consumed in lots of cuisines worldwide. We used to grow it and eat it in the UK before spinach in some ways, sort of say, became the more popular option through the supermarkets. UK growers might be surprised to see this crop sort of potentially as one for the UK, because we know it grows really well in the UK. It's actually a very common weed in our crops. But there is underutilized potential in bathwa or fat hen or goosefoot potentially to bring it back into use by UK consumers, perhaps in some of the specialty food markets, that could make something that's currently perceived as a weed into something as a tasty and nutritious food product.